Hey, welcome to Mystic Messages. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, good to have you back. I hope everybody's doing great wherever they are. Today I'm coming at you a little different. It was a little too hot for the robe, so I decided to change things up a bit. Still the same person, just in a different shell. So don't get too concerned. Don't freak out. I'm still the same freak in a different mask. Anyway, today's message is a little interesting. Source wanted me to communicate to a few people about those who are feeling selfish for choosing themselves at the moment. Okay. Going along this path uh, can sometimes seem like you're being selfish, especially when you have to eliminate certain people around you, places, or things that are preventing you from going forward on your path. Now, that was a big issue for me. I always felt that I was being selfish if I wasn't attending to someone else's needs and over my own, and that's not cool. We have a right to tend to our own needs without feeling guilty or selfish. And many people, as you're going on this journey, will begin to say that you're being selfish, especially if you're moving away from them. Now, you're not being selfish. They have the right to choose to come along if they want. But again, that's their choice and their journey. Just like you have your own journey, they have their journey. So, the best response to them when they're letting you know that you're selfish or they're trying to antagonize you for following your own path, let them know it's not being selfish to take care of yourself. Especially when you're on this path. We're on the path trying to make the world a better place. And we can't always be there for everyone when they want. And a lot of times people were accustomed to our light and our energy, trying to suck off of that, constantly, which is not healthy for us because it takes us down, it drains us. There's a reason why we need to have alone time. There's a reason why we have to move away from certain environments and certain people because their energy is just draining. Unfortunately, they're on a lower vibration because they choose to be there. They don't have to be, but that's their choice. So, just as it's their choice to remain where they are, it's also our choice to continue to move forward on our path on this amazing journey that's going to have an amazing end once we get through all the mess. You know, if you take a look at what's happening around right now, there's nothing but chaos. This is all part of the plan. Okay, in order for us to get to the new, we have to break down the old. But you have to remain strong, and you have to conserve your energy. Okay, and that means including watching things like the news. Now, it's okay to be informed, but watching it 24/7 isn't healthy. I know people that are sitting in front of that television screen 24/7 listening to the same bombardment of garbage that's being spewed all over the place. And all it's doing is terrifying everyone. And unfortunately, those who are listening are either too afraid to do something or unwilling to do something to make things better. It's almost they're being placed in a state of fear. And this is intentional because this is where the dark forces want you, in a state of fear. Okay, in a state of being frozen. That's how they win. Okay, it's time now for the rest of us who are on this path to be the light for others. Okay, and that's going to entail taking care of yourself first, and that's not selfish. So please don't feel guilty if somebody calls you selfish. Explain to them that you need to conserve your energy and you have a right to follow your path as much as they have a right to follow theirs. And nobody should infringe on that. Everybody has free will to do what they want. But, again, please don't feel that you're being selfish and don't allow others to make you feel that you're being selfish. As a matter of fact, it's actually the opposite. They're being selfish because they want to prevent you from moving forward or make you feel guilty for trying to better yourself and to better the world. Now, how can that make sense? Think about that for a second. It might help you to alleviate some of those feelings of guilt that you might be feeling right now because someone has said that you've changed or you're different or you're selfish or you just think of yourself. And, that's fine. Just let it roll off your back. It doesn't matter. People are going to talk. That's just the way things go. People are going to talk. And It's whether we choose to listen to that, internalize it, or keep it on our, on our shoulders. We're not meant to carry that. That's their stuff, And the more that you learn to do this, the better you're going to get at it, and the less you're going to feel guilty about it, because you're going to realize that your mission is too important. Our mission is too important. We all have a part to play in creating this new world in the age of Aquarius. We all have a part to play, and everybody's part is important. Okay, and if that means we have to be selfish for a little while because we have to conserve our energy for more important things, so be it. You know, this is why go out there and search for your community, whether it's on this page or other YouTube channels out there that are doing the same. Wherever you feel comfortable, find a soul family to communicate with. You know, I always say this space is a safe and sacred space, and everybody's welcome to give their input or communicate with each other. That's what these places are about: communicating with each other, growing as a collective. You know, and if you have a sense, I'm getting a message right now that a lot of people in this collective are stuck. You know, and the best way to get unstuck is taking that first step. And I know the fear. Trust me. Trust me. I know the fear. I know the fear of giving up everything you've ever known and moving forward on a path that's not clear. It can be terrifying, and it is terrifying for the most part. But if you ask for assistance from the divine realms to give you strength, to give you peace, you'll receive it. You know, personally, I used to be anxious about everything, especially with everything that took place in my life. It created an anxious mess out of me that I was frozen in fear. And I wasted so many years allowing that fear to prevent me from moving forward. Okay, allowing the things that other people said to me from preventing me from moving forward. And I realized it doesn't matter what people say. It matters what I think about myself. Okay, it matters what the divine thinks about you, because what anybody else has to say is not important. You know, learn to let that just drip off your back. And if it becomes too intense, move away from that situation. It's okay to say, hey, that's not for me, and I'm not going to carry that anymore. And you'll realize the load will become lighter every day. The more you continue down that path of following your own journey and taking care of your own needs, keeping yourself healthy, okay, which means, eating right, trying to stay away from processed foods, exercising, whatever it is that you have to do. Go out in nature, take a walk, whether it's outside. If you live in a suburban area, walk into the woods, communicate with the divine, communicate with Mother Gaia, with Mother Earth. All these spiritual beings are there to assist us on this journey and guide us and help us. You know, ask for their support because they want to give it. But we have to ask because, again, according to the laws, it's free will. And unless we ask or invite in, we can't receive. So stop feeling like you're being selfish. Stop allowing people to make you feel like you're being selfish. Because deep down inside, you are a good person. You have done nothing but good to everything and everyone. You have always been the first person there to do things when somebody needed something. And now the divine is asking you to help the world move forward into this great new abundant world that we're going to get to. It's going to take work, but we can do it together, spreading love for each other and helping one another and loving ourselves first and foremost. Because we can't love others if we don't love ourselves first. That's the bottom line. So love yourself first. Keep going forward on this journey. You're all amazing. You can do it. Um, the divine is sending you much love. I'm sending you guys much love. And I know that you're going to make it on this journey. You're going to make it. You're going to get out of this sense of fear and frozenness that you're in. You're going to do it. Just ask for strength, and you'll be able to move forward with everything. All we have to do is ask. Ask, and you shall receive. Okay, we're going to leave the message at that. I hope everyone has a great Sunday, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.